You've just seen him as Lincoln Burrows. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dominic Purcell!
Tonight there's gonna be a jailbreak somewhere in the town. Tonight there's gonna be trouble, so don't you be around.
Dominic Purcell!
Hello. Home. Ireland.
Top of the morning to you,
Top of the
Dominic.
morning to you, lad.
I mean, really, I was calling you Dominic Purcell, but everywhere you look, you're Dominic Purcell.
That's correct, Dominic Purcell.
But you're going to go with Purcell because you're home.
This is true. This is true.
You are unlike so many. Sometimes we have people on and go, well, my great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandmother was Irish.
Mm-hmm.
You are the real deal.
Well, I am kind of the real deal. Blame my mother. She's in the audience. The lovely, my mom. My granddad is Irish. My grandmother is Irish. All born in Dublin. Goes all the way back. So I can claim to be Irish, and I'm very proud to be Irish. I have an Irish passport. I'm very, very honored.
This is great. You could win an Oscar for it. Hey!
I can. Look at these pretty people.
They're nice people here
Very
tonight.
nice people.
So you have the, and I want to talk about your family in a few minutes because your mum's here, your brother's here, your brother's fiance's here, your other brother's here,
This is true.
Your sister's here. No, they're laughing going, no they're not. Yes they are.
They're all here.
All living in what part of Ireland?
Dundalk.
So they all live there,
Yes.
There's a few of them. And do you get back to this country much to
I
visit?
sneak in as much as I can. It's usually twice a year. This year I was here for the IFTA's
last Sunday, yeah.
And this man is very, very funny.
Yeah,
Very proud of him. Ireland's biggest export.
Yeah, well, that's very thoughtful of you. Thank you. I'll pay you later. That was good. That worked out. You won that bet. Do you? So, in terms of coming over here, I presume you stay in Dundalk. You hang out in Dundalk and have
I
fun
do.
there.
I hang with mom and dad and the brothers, and I kind of just walk around and mind my biz. The people in Dundalk realize that I'm kind of around, and they're very cool. They kind of let me kind of walk around in somewhat anonymity.
In anonymity. Okay, very good. Because previously, you're a big fella.
Very good. Yeah.
You're taking a mick out of me now.
Just like that.
You're only
very good. That's close, right?
You know, he's on the couch 6 minutes. He's already giving me grief.
No problem.
Jesus.
Never that odd as you.
Do you want to swap seats?
Yeah, sure.
Now, previously you worked as a landscape gardener,
This is true.
which I'm surprised at because you don't have the build for it.
Right.
And so how do you?
You do.
I will say, I have been described as a rake before.
Yeah. You have tremendous presence
in the garden.
Screen presence.
The landscape gardening business, its loss is, of course, acting's gain.
Yes.
So how do you go up from, herbaceous borders to,
there's nothing, I wish I could say I wanted to exorcise some demons and I was really attracted to the craft of acting. It had nothing to do with that. It was very shallow. My motivation was very shallow. It was all about fame and money and women and all that kind of thing. And
no, but why did you really get into acting?
fame, money, and women.
Was it down to Platoon, the Oliver Stone movie?
Look, I was tired of digging holes, basically. And it was one of those situations where I got home and I was just watching the TV and I was watching the Platoon, the movie, and it was kind of like, wow, what is it these guys are actually doing? My goodness, they're actors. I don't think I can be an actor.
Yeah.
So I looked into the paper and I got myself off to some acting class.
Can you remember your first one?
I remember my first one. It was awful. It was you gotta let me set it up. I mean, I was a landscape gardener, and I surfed a lot, and I still surf, and drank a lot. Don't drink anymore, ladies and gentlemen. And I walked into this acting class, and it's the first time I'd ever been in any kind of anywhere near close to the entertainment business. And I walked in, and I was surrounded by poets and intellects and all these young, amazing, striving thespians. And I remember sitting in the back freaking out. And this is not for me. This is absolutely not for me. And I was on my way out, and I remember the teacher, Rose Clementi was her name, and she said, "You, the guy at the back sneaking out, come out the front." And true story. And I remember my heart stopping, just freaking out. I got onto the floor, and there's this young girl, and she was obviously an actress, and the drama teacher said the exercise was, okay, we want you to do some improvisation. And I was, I can't do this. I can't do this. And then the improvisation started. This young lady just went into a psychotic rant, screaming at me. It was like a mother-husband argument improvisation thing. And I just stood there freaking out, not doing anything, just scared out of my mind. And this lady was screaming at me and screaming at me, screaming at me. And at the end of the class, the teacher said, now that is acting. That is true acting. You would just, see, he was just standing here, he was listening, he wasn't overreacting. And then everyone was congratulating me, because I was just standing there. And, you know, it's long story short, she said, okay, you got something. We're going to send you off to acting school.
And what did the lads...
Sorry to bore you with that story.
No, not at all. It's good. What did the other lads say about you going to acting class? Because you were, I presume, you were surfing, you were one of the boys.
Well, at some point, I thought, you know, I'm sure they thought I batted for the other side or something. And because I grew up in a very masculine, blue-collar neighborhood.
Sure.
And it was very odd for one of their own to sort of go off to drama school.
Mission Impossible 2 you were in, among other things. John Doe was there, which we didn't get over here. But nevertheless, your acting career was going along grand and fine. And then Prison Break came along and has become, as I mentioned in the introduction...
It's become an international phenomenon.
What's the deal with it? Why is it addictive? Why do people seem to just keep wanting more and watching it all the time?
I think, you know, aside from the sweaty, good-looking man and all that kind of stuff...
That'll do me. Yeah. Well, next question...
No, it's, I don't know what it is, man. I think a lot of it has to do with the universal themes it's touching on. You know? I mean, you have the two brothers, and everyone can relate to love, loyalty, and family. Then you have Lincoln, whose whole life is about his son. We can, as a man and as men, we can, as fathers, we understand that, you know. And it has intriguing characters, you know, and the characters are all very redeemable. You know, we all want them to succeed. You know, and of course Wentworth Miller, you know, I mean, he was a new face, and I think he was pivotal for Prison Break success.
He plays your brother, Michael, in the series, and the likeness. If you take a look at the pair of you together in this picture, you'll see that it's uncanny, isn't it? The likeness. How did?
Well, I mean, Went's a lot prettier than me, I would say. But you know what it was? We got on set, and I had long hair at the time, and I just shaved my head, and you know, we both have big kind of melons, and it kind of worked out.
So it's like that.
It's kind of like that, you know. If you got a big head, it kind of works well on TV.
What about the impact of the show? It being so popular all over the world now. Has that changed your life? We talked about anonymity a minute ago.
Yeah, it's gone.
Really?
Anonymity has gone. I noticed that a couple of years back, actually, where I was doing a movie in South Africa, and I got mobbed at the airport in South Africa, of all places. And now I travel, you know, I'm actually on a tour promoting Prison Break now. I was in Madrid and Brussels and Paris and Poland. You know,
you don't have to give us every country.
Yeah, and I sorry, I didn't
have a habit
of rabbiting on. But just, mobbed everywhere.
Everywhere you go. Do you find that weird, freaky, or do you feel, well, that's the job I chose, and that's what goes with it?
It's the job I chose. It's weird and freaky, and fame is good for 5 minutes. And then you kind of get bored with it.
Isn't it funny? Did you want to be famous?
Yeah, of course.
And then you got your 5 minutes and said, enough of that.
Enough, you know.
God, you're a bit screwed, aren't you?
Yeah. It's kind of, as you said before, you know, in China, they have 135 million people watching this thing. And, you know, it's one of the biggest shows in the world. And at the same time, I don't want to come across as being, as though I'm not enjoying it and appreciate it. I do. I'm humbled by its success.
Yeah, well, I was in your presence last Sunday, and every woman in the room wanted their picture taken with you.
Yes. One of the perks.
It seems. Can we talk to your mum briefly?
Yes,
your mum's a lovely woman, Maureen.
Maureen, come on!
Maureen!
Here for
Hey!